Speaker. My question is to the Prime Minister and reads, on how many occasions has he, as Minister, dealt with actual or perceived conflicts of interest involving himself since the election?
The Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I cannot recall exactly on how many occasions I've considered actual or perceived conflicts of interest matters involving myself, but I do know that it's been at least 2.
The Honourable Pete Hodgson.
Does he believe that he has avoided or might avoid conflict of interest issues arising because he has taken the precaution of putting his relevant domestic assets into a blind trust?
The Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, well, that would be my hope.
The Honourable Pete Hodgson.
Will he recommend to all his Cabinet Ministers that they establish a blind trust for relevant assets so as to reduce the growing list of conflicted ministers who've come to public attention for real or perceived conflict of interest issues such as Dr Worth, the Honourable Dr Nick Smith, the Honourable Chris Finlayson or himself with Jackson Minerals and Transrail?
The Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, well, 2 aspects. One is that I would refute the names that he's listed out there as having conflicts of interest. Just because that member says they have one doesn't mean they do have one. And secondly, it's up to individual ministers to seek advice from the Cabinet Office in that matter.
The Honourable Pete Hodgson.
Has the Cabinet Office confirmed that his blind trust has been established in a manner that means that he cannot know what he owns from any day to the next and is therefore fully compliant with the relevant sections of the Cabinet Manual? And if so, why will he not require other ministers to do the same?
The Honourable Prime Minister.
To the best of my knowledge, yes, and I'm not aware of the other blind trust arrangements that ministers have. They take that up with the Cabinet Office.
Question number 9, Alan Peachy.